Hello and welcome to another exciting video from Ken's Training. What I'm going to do today is just go over some drywall anchors, and there's some things that I've been working with that I wasn't exactly happy with, and I wanted to make a slight change, so I just wanted to kind of go through and show you what I've been doing. Okay, this here is just a simple makeshift wall that I made up, where it's got just drywall and metal stud frame here on the back. Just trying to shine the light here so you can see it. And I got some different anchors that I've been playing around with here. The best anchor, the strongest one, but it's also a very expensive one, is the one that anchors like this. Here it is just in drywall. This is a toggle anchor, and here, if you can see that, I did it so that it anchored right through the stud. So when I go to like mount TVs, I'll do it this way so it anchors onto actual metal, not just on the drywall. It's much more sturdier that way. But now let me explain what the issue is that I'm having. When I buy my Easy Auger anchors at the Home Depot, I buy these ones here, and I'll do a zoom in on this so you can see it really well. So this is the ones that I buy, Easy Auger anchors. This here is what they look like. Now the part that's I'm not happy with is the fact that the end of this here is got like a closed end. And when they sell these, they sell 50 or whatever size, 25, 50 in a box. And the screws that they come with, let's see here. The screws that they come with are number 8 screws by 1¼ inch. Well, if you look at a number 8 by 1¼ inch, it's going to go in and bottom out right at that head. So when this goes into the drywall, what happens is if I'm only anchoring something very, very thin, like this here, which mounts a dry erase board as an example, if you go and put that through there, and this is mounted right into the drywall, by the time you bottom out this screw here, what's happening is that this whole thing is turning inside the drywall, not allowing this to be a nice tight connection. So two ways that I can get away from that. Instead of going with the screws that came with the box, which was number 8 1¼ I purchased some number 8s by 1 inch, so they're 1/4 inch less. So this is one way that I can get around that. The second way that I can get around that is with these. Instead of going with the aluminum ones, which really were my favorites, but I didn't like the way that they were acting because of that closed end situation. These plastic ones here are supposed to open up, so when the screw goes in, it will actually kind of open up. So I got my demo piece of drywall here, and we can just do a little bit of experimentation just to kind of see exactly how that would kind of play out. Alright, so I know I got some open drywall area up here, and let's go ahead and let's see here. I'm just going to put down 1 aluminum, and I'll do 1 plastic. I've got my drywall here set at, I'll put it 6. Alright, so that's 1. Now let me open up the plastic one, and I'll sink one of those. We'll see how well that sinks in. My first time using these plastic ones, so I just purchased 4 of them just to get an idea if I'm going to like them or not. Let's see how well that goes down. Alright, a little bit harder to start out with, but hey, it's sunk in. Flushed out nicely. It flushed out even better than the aluminum one. And just so I can get a feel for what that feels like. Oh, and it's solid. Let's see what it looks like underneath on the back side. Okay, so right there's the aluminum one. Right there is the plastic one there on the back side. Alright, so now I'm going to take one of these 1-inch screws, because I know the ones that are 1 1/4 don't work so well. And I'm going to screw that down and see how that feels here on the aluminum. Actually, that worked out quite well. Just shortening that out to a 1-inch. That definitely grips that anchor really, really well. Now, let me back that out. See that? But even though I used the 1-inch, it actually backed out the auger and everything on that one there. So if you ever want to get yourself in this situation, you just got to get a pair of vice grips, needle nose pliers, channel locks, whatever. Then you can back out that screw, like so. Alright, so let's try the plastic one with the screws that came with it. So here's the same deal. That looks like a number 8 by 1 1/4. Came with the plastic screw, came with 4 screws, and I got one of them. I got 4 of these things. Let's see how well this does. And I'll throw the torque setting down to 6 there and try that. Alright, actually I kind of stripped it out because it was plastic. Still grips it pretty good. I don't know if you can see that, but it did open up here too, so it allowed that to go through. But it certainly is not as tight as when you use the aluminum ones. The aluminum one, when I sunk that in, I couldn't move it. I couldn't move this at all. This one here, it's just spinning. So there's definitely you can overdo these plastic ones. So I guess if I was to say that if I had my favorites, I guess I'm still going to go with the aluminum ones because it's going to be a tighter deal. I just have to make sure that I, just use the shorter ones there. If it backs out like it did, that's not the end of the world. I can even still put it back in the same screw hole there and still reuse that, and it's still good to go. It actually tightens up fine, even in the drywall. So, okay. That's the end of that, and I hope you enjoyed that short video. Thank you for watching.
Another summer day has come and gone away from Paris or Rome.